Day 2 of the TST tournament had a lot of drama and action, and the Major Arena Soccer League once again was well represented. We are now out of the group stages and on to the round of 32. But first, we're going to recap the day and give you the scoop on what happened. We're going to share some of the highlights of Day 2's games. And we've got an interview on deck with Concafa SC and Utica City's Gordy Gurson. All this and more on another edition of the MASL TST Show. But first, introductions are in order. I know most of you out there know by now who we are, but this goes out to those that don't tune in that often. Hi, everybody. My name is Christian Filliman, also known as Philly, and joining me, Amanda, the Panda Filliman, and the man known as the Doctor because of his PhD in personality, Jonathan Reimer. Friends, what's going on?
What's going on, Philly? It's so good to be back. And I don't know, a little Thursday soccer talk. You see what I did there with TST. Can't wait to dive into the action of today. But first, be sure that you subscribe to MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Doc, the third wheel with the even keel. Just out here making sure that all people in TST learn that word. Wallacora, baby, because we're going to bring outdoor, indoor, spreading the TST word. And if you want to get out there and watch some of that TST action, make sure you're tuning in on ESPN+. You can also follow everything on Twitter on @TST7v7. And if you want to watch the games that are being streamed, you can find those at tstlive.thetournament.com.
Look at you both coming in, spitting fire. I love it. Let's get in and let that flamethrower come a-blazing. And coming a-blazing is Newtown Pride FC, the defending, reigning, undisputed TST champions, did it again, this time by goals from Charlie Gonzalez of the San Diego Sockers, Rian Marquez of the Kansas City Comets, and Luis Morales, the gunslinger himself, scoring golazos left and right of the Texas Outlaws. They helped Newtown remain undefeated as they dispatched Zala by a score of 4-1. Nilton DeAndrade nabbed an assist, and we have another goal by Gabriel Ganser. This kid has been unbelievable. So many goals, so many assists. I wouldn't be surprised and or shocked if we see him in the Major Arena Soccer League next season. That's how that game ended. Newtown Pride undefeated. Christian Hernandez, the goalkeeper, only allowing one goal over the course of 3 games. The man is a certifiable wall. One thing I want to mention and highlight real quick. First off, those Newtown Pride kits are fire. Some of the nicest kits that we've seen in all of TST. I love bright, loud, and outlandish colors, and that is a sick color. Well done to the kit maker of Newtown Pride, and an extra special shout out to Justin Stinson, who's wearing the number 91 in honor of the late, great Joseph the Jet Kyrell. 4 years ago today, we lost Joseph the Jet. Gone, but never forgotten. Rest in peace. Panda, we've got some clips from Newtown Pride's win. So as George Michael from the Sports Machine used to say many, many blue moons ago, let's go to the videotape.
Let's do it, because there's some good stuff here. I think everybody needs to watch it. It's a lot of fun. And yeah.
Love that pressure on the second ball there. No quit from Luis Morales. I mean, the scrappy play, catches the deflection, pulls it out of the air, and nets it home. What a beautiful goal.
Yeah, that was a great goal. They've done a lot of great things in this tournament, so that was certainly one of them. Yeah, good times, good times. Look at that angle,
Gabriel
too.
Ganser have contributed in every single game for Newtown Pride. It's been quite interesting and quite entertaining.
Yeah,
Morales screaming up the leaderboard for MASL players as well, too.
Look at that one. That was what Rian Marks with that beautiful goal. You saw how it kind of deflected off that post and just bounced its way right in where it needed to, almost hitting both posts, which you don't see very often.
Yeah, I'm loving this America Online 56K dial-up connection that we got going on with this clip. Rian Marquez or Rian Marks, he's gone by both names in the past few seasons. One day we'll really figure out what name he wants. I talked to him earlier in the season. He said Marquez, so that's what I'm going to stick with.
All right, guys, we now have the target goal that just happened by none other than Charlie Golasso, whatever nickname you want to go by. I mean, walk us through this. I think we're going to watch it. I don't know if we watch it again. Yeah. Walk us through this, Doctor.
I mean, I think the one thing that Chargo does really well here is you can see he picks his head up, he checks back in with Gabriel Costa, and they've been playing it back and forth and just lulling the defense into a pattern. And then you can see once he sees that the defender is committed the opposite direction, he immediately turns in on goal and boom, fires it in. That's indoor talent for you. And obviously, Chargo, quick turns on the ball. He's one of the best in the game, the best that has ever played the game to do it. I mean, when he just turns and goes directly one-on-one at the keeper there, you knew it was over. Fantastic goal from Chargo. Not Berto, as it may say in the TST stats online. Very different people there, unless Berto lost about 50% of his body mass. Pretty sure that's Chargo right there.
Yeah, without a doubt. I love his patience when he's on the ball, man. He's a hard player to dispossess, and he's just so comfortable. Anytime he's got the ball at his feet, he can make things happen. You saw how he stopped, assessed everything like you alluded to, but just to have that kind of patience, not frenetic, so calm, cool, and collective, and it was a glorious way to close out the group stages for Newtown Pride. And by the way, my choice for the team coming out of the group stages and the and the team with the MASL talent that's going to do the most damage. Thank you, fellas. You're making me a profit. Although it wasn't that hard to pick anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit the low-hanging fruit with that one, but that's kind of what you do. A lot, yes. So, all right, moving on. City Soccer Society was up against a Villarreal CF, or I think we call them the Texas Sidekicks or the Dallas Outlaws because they're all made up of that nice little group down there in Texas. But Villarreal came from behind thanks to a goal by Isai Romero to win 2-1, and they eliminate City Soccer in a chippy contest that it's all 11 yellows and 1 red. Really fun match, let's be honest.
Fun match indeed. We're going to transition to the German clubs, the 2 biggest clubs in the Bundesliga, but certainly not the biggest clubs at the TST, as dueling for Lincoln FC playing Borussia Dortmund. Despite a stellar performance from the legendary Roman Weidenfeller in goal, the DFL, which is dueling for Lincoln, unless you haven't figured out that acronym, they complete their German double, dispelling Borussia Dortmund by a score of 5-2 at the feet of Billy Steinmack, representing the St. Louis Ambush. He scores the target goal. Panda, I believe we have a clip for that too, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. You know we did. I mean,
dial up.
I think that's just your connection because I saw that clip clear as day. I think we need to get you a new computer, Philly. But in the meantime,
and we get a new TV while we're at it.
You know what? Let's see it again. Too fast. Let's see it again. Look at that. Oh, what a strike from outside the box. Beautiful. We love to see it. Target score 5. That was it. That helped secure their place and where they needed to go into that round of 32.
Yeah, congratulations to Dueling for Lincoln FC and the Town FC. And we got Tony Walls on the Town FC playing FC Bayern, Deutsche Meister, although they really weren't the Deutsche Meister in this regard. From what I know, they brought in the World Squad team, and that's a team mainly consisting of players that are on the U19 level from a global perspective. But the Town stuck it to Big Bayern, defeating them 3-1, and they send them back to Deutschland with their heads tucked in between their tails. Other than the Bayern women, and not a great year across the globe for Bayern Munich, but congrats to the women on winning their Bundesliga. And that concludes the knockout of Die Deutsche Mannschaft.
That's when the womp, womp, womp thing should have been used again.
Should I use the womp, womp?
No, because the MASL teams went 4-0 against Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, MASL talent knocked out Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. Moving on, folks. We got a lot to cover here. So, my boys, La Bombonera. They played a game. It didn't really matter.
I thought you were waiting for the applause button. Hold on, I got something.
I was. I thought you were going to give me some love there, but it's okay. You know, it's okay. Because they entered a game versus Gracie FC that absolutely did not matter. Both teams had already qualified, and so they just took the game off and had a lackadaisical little kickabout. No, absolutely no, they did not. It was one of the most fiercely contested and one of the most fast-paced games we saw all day. It was wild from start to finish, but at the end, of course, the boys from La Bombonera came out on top after a frenetic game to come out on top of Group D. Panda rolled the highlights for my undefeated champion of the group pick.
That's right. Here we go.
I mean, just patient, calm, cool as you like, picking out their spot. I mean, they played with such pace. They had Gracie constantly on their back feet throughout the course of the game. And when they settled, they would find the back of the net, and just a beautiful job dismantling them. And I love how much the MLS talent on the microphone was blown away by the quality south of the border in the MASL. It's great to see them preaching the brand.
I just got one question. These clips, we didn't have to get any kind of rights to use them, right? We're not going to get any cease and desists on this awesome music that you're using for these clips, Producer Panda?
It's all part of the video editing app that I use.
Move on.
So don't worry. When Reimer, or the doctor, asked me to use Slayer, I had to politely decline because we would probably get flagged for that. But it would have been a
Cary
great
King
game
would
to
come
use
knocking
Slayer,
down our
right?
door.
Would
You
it
know,
not have been?
Gary Holt from Slayer lives right up the road. I could go talk to him and see. It is June 6th after all, which is Slayer Day. So, you know.
That's what I'm saying. So we thought about it, but we wanted to keep this on the YouTubes and not like kicked off. So either way, let's move forward with the next one. We've got Des Impedidos at Wrexham, and Des Impedidos took an early 2-goal lead, but the Red Dragons scored prior to target time, and they were able to pull off the victory 3-2 with a pair of overtime goals, which helped advance Wrexham on to the round of 32. And then FC Roja Eagles played Saturday's football. The Swiss side Rono did defeat Saturday's football 3-2, but that did not keep them from advancing, and we will get into that just a little bit more. But Doc, what else we got going?
Next game of the day, Summer of Soccer. A bunch of boys from Baltimore went off against #United. Star of the game, Kansas City Comets. Backup keeper, Philip Ejimadu. Edgy coming up huge with 6 saves, only 1 goal allowed. #United staves off elimination and qualifies with their win versus Summer of Soccer.
And in the other games, we got Joey Ravtav himself, Joey Tavernisi, and the Manhattan Kickers advance after beating the Raleigh Rebels by a score of 3-1. Cody Ellis and Super United defeated DC Hyper 3-0 to go 2-1 in group play. They move on and advance. And despite a goal by the always beautifully coiffed Brian Farber, North Carolina FC fall 3-1 to Como Cagliari to fall 2-2 in the standings. Doc, Sergio Aguero was reminded that he is no longer the global superstar that he once was, and now probably thinks he still is. What happened there?
You know, if there's one thing I have truly taken immense joy in from this tournament, it has been the complete embarrassment of Manchester City Football Club and Team Aguero. No love lost between me and the boys in light blue. But Nani went a perfect 3-0 in the group stage. They eliminate Aguero with a 6-2 victory, powered by goals from Drew Ruggles, Frank Tayu, Lucas Roque. Roll back the clock, folks. Go look at yesterday's show, and Doc called those 3 names out as 3 players that were gonna score a goal today. All 3 scored. I should win $1 million for that pick right there.
Yeah, congrats. You get a cookie. Now pick my winning lottery numbers, buddy.
Oh, all right. And then, of course, the long-awaited match that I think a lot of people who didn't know a whole lot about maybe this game, but were just kind of clued into the celebrity status surrounding all of this tournament. We had Burnley FC men's, that of JJ Watt's team, and the Concafa SC with of course, Pat McAfee, who is pretty much running this whole show. He's been the face of a lot of things. He's been out there front and center in social media, even nabbing himself a stellar assist yesterday. And we finally got to see him, but they managed 3 shots on goal between them. So, they were out there more for just bringing in the people. The real people on the pitch that were making all the difference were, of course, Gordy Gurson, Zach Reggett, the end of everything. They were able to nab dimes, and then Huff and Stuff. We love, love, love Huffman. He scored a banger, and they were able to pull out the win, and you love to see it. These MASL guys are just kind of showing why they are the best at what they do, and a lot of them don't do it much better than Gordy Gerson, which, Billy, you had the chance to sit down and chat with him. Did you not?
I did. Let's roll footage and see how that went out.
All right, let's check out this amazing interview. Such a fun guy. I think he's having, I guess, would you say he's having the time of his life?
Yeah, he said he was having the. Our show brings us back to the land of TST, Cary, North Carolina, where MASL has many, many boots on the ground. Some of the most explosive belonging to our guest today. We welcome Kid Dynamite himself, Utica City FC's and Concafa SC's Gordy Gurson.
Philly, how you doing, man? Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, man, it's been a minute since we last chatted on that soon-to-be resurrected MASL Insider Show. Really good to see you, man. You're looking well.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. Just out here enjoying the sun. Actually, right now it's a little bit raining, but can't complain at all. Can't complain being in North Carolina.
No, definitely cannot. And I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. I know you just got done with your last game. Look, let's get right into it. You're on one of the most visible teams in the TST tournament, Concafa SC. You just got done with the group stages. You disposed of Burnley, where you had that cheeky back heel assist to Jeff Cameron in that winning effort. You moved again out of the group stages, now only needing 5 wins to put a couple of Benjamins in your pocket. First and foremost, congrats on the recent run. Talk to us about your initial thoughts on the tournament so far.
I mean, compared to last year, I think this tournament has grown tremendously. The level of play has definitely raised throughout the year. I feel like the sponsors have been more involved. Like last year, they were Hummel, I believe, and now they're Adidas. So, I mean, you can see things growing in the tournament. Like now there's also a women's side as well. So it's technically $2 million being sent out on Monday. I would say this tournament's growing. I'm honored to be a part of this team with Pat and his crew, Jeff Cameron, Breck Shea. I mean, these are all legends that I just grew up growing up as a kid watching them. And I still watch Pat's show all the time. So to me, this is literally like I'm a little kid just looking into a candy store. It's amazing.
I'm going to reference Pat's show in just a moment. He had some fun things to say about y'all earlier, and I'm sure you've seen it. But let's stick to the format for the tournament. Look, Supra United FC is your next opponent in the round at 32. What challenges do you foresee competing against this squad?
I mean, just a squad we're not really knowing. So it's just going to be our first game. We didn't know anything about Reggae Rovers, and we let them score first, changed our whole way we were playing, and things didn't go our way. So hopefully we can score first tomorrow and get things going early. And I think we're going to be fine because right now we're on a nice little run.
That you are. And let's talk about Concafa as a whole. The team you're on is quite eclectic. Head coach Tony Miola. You mentioned Breck Shea, Jeff Cameron. You got Mike Grella from CBS Sports Golasso Network, and obviously still the record holder for the fastest goal in Major League Soccer during his time with the New York Red Bull. And obviously Pat McAfee, to mention a few. But you've also got Steph. You got Zach Reggett, you got Derek Huffman, Mario Alvarez, and forgive me if I'm forgetting any other indoor players, but my question is, how did this team get put together in the first place? And is there any kind of thought behind putting some of the most passionate players in the MASL all together on one team?
Last year I was playing with Kingdom FC and we had lost to Blades and Grass, which was Breck Shea and Jeff Cameron's team. My dad loved watching Breck Shea growing up. While I was growing up. And so I took a picture with Breck after the game and was talking a little bit with Jeff, and we just stayed in contact throughout the year. And then towards TSC time, Jeff and I were speaking, and he was like, yo, let me put you in contact with this guy from ESPN. He's going to have a team. And I was like, is this even real? I literally just couldn't even believe it. And so I'm messaging with this guy, Mike Foss, amazing guy who's our GM here, running everything beautifully for us. yeah, he's like, hey man, we need a couple more players, and you know me, I'm bringing my boys, and that was a no brainer to me. They love us here. We're having fun. I mean, Stefan's been killing it. Derek scored the game winner tonight, so I mean, they're seeming to use us in the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's gelling well. Game one against the Reggae Rovers was a tough one for you, but you did manage to fire a couple shots on goal. Success did find your team, and for you personally, versus Chad Ochocinco's Natty SC, a 6-1 shellacking where you had a goal. Just mentioned the win against Burnley. Like, talk to us about the competition you faced so far in the tournament. How tough were the teams in your bracket?
I think Reggae Rovers, we just kind of took them lightly. It was our first game. We have a bunch of ballers on our team. We just expected to come on and win. But as we were saying a little bit earlier today, it's a good thing, you know, we got our asses handed to us because we're sponsored by Dude Wipes. So we got to clean that, and now we're back and rolling, and things are going good. And I don't know if you saw my celebration yesterday after the goal. Yeah, I mean, this has just been a great time. The atmosphere is unreal with our team, and we're just loving the vibes. We're just going to keep it going.
I feel like you're ready for this, because this actually leads into my next question. Yes, your goal celebration, Dude Wipes, the front of kit sponsor for Concafa. Now, was this something that was organically done, no pun intended, of course, or did you have that already planned out for when you would score?
So we're getting taken care of nice out here with the team and everything, and they said that we got to thank Dude Wipes. Dude Wipes is one of our sponsors, and I told Pat right from the start, I said, no problem. When I score, I'm going to thank Dude Wipes. Don't you worry. So I got another one brewing, hopefully, if I ever get another goal. But right now, it's just let's keep winning and let's keep this rolling, because I want that million.
Of course. Nothing. Benjamin's, man, it's expensive to live in the United States. You're one of many of the MASL boots that are on the ground in Cary, North Carolina. Talk to us about the impact that you're seeing that indoor players are having on this tournament as a whole.
I mean, it's a whole different game playing small-sided soccer where, I mean, yeah, we have players, you know, from Burnley or players from all over Dortmund, and you see them not doing as well against guys that are specific small-sided teams, like the dueling from Lincoln. The guys from the Ambush just beat on Dortmund today. So, I mean, it's just stuff like that where the changing matters. I mean, it's a tournament, so the structure is you're keeping your legs fresh, where a lot of these guys are trying to play and just get time just to play again and feel right, be a part of a team. But at the end of the day, I think it's the team that changes quick and keeps their legs fresh throughout the tournament. That's why I think Newtown was so successful last year.
Yeah, and they've had quite a run already out of the group stages, undefeated. Christian Hernandez only allowed 1 goal in 3 games. That's going to be a tough opponent, but y'all are going to be tough too, because you're gelling when it matters. And you know, you talk about Pat McAfee, like on his show this morning, he talked about how he stayed up all night chopping it up with you guys, and he mentioned the crazy indoor guys. Apparently, there was some jujitsu going on. Like, what was that all about?
Oh yeah, I mean, we're just a bunch of fun. That's what we are, a bunch of guys just enjoying the vibes. I mean, sometimes a couple tequilas can get into us, you know. Shout out to Calafino, always looking out for us. Thank you, Poppy Phil and Cheeky. But yeah, I mean, it's just a camaraderie what we're doing. We're always here having a good time, and we were hanging out with Pat till 1:30 in the morning last night, and this is just what football is about, and that's why we love it.
Yeah, I could tell you're having fun. He's having a good time. And look, it's 11 o'clock in your neck of the woods, 11 p.m. that is. I know it's getting late. I know you'd rather hang out with Pat and the boys than with me, and I totally get that. I'd feel the same way if I was sitting in your shoes. But before we go, do you have any final thoughts or words that you want to leave our audience with?
I'm just going to say watch out for Concafa, because it was a slow start. But like I said, we got a good team and a good mix of guys between indoor and outdoor and former pros and guys that are still ballers. They still got it. I mean, I'm in Breck Shea's ear all the time. Like, bro, are you sure you don't want to come play indoor? Like, are you sure you don't want to make this move? And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. And being here with the boys, Steph, Reggett, Derek, and Mario, it just makes it that much more fun and enjoyable.
I love it. Bring in Breck, bring in everybody. Be that ambassador for the MASL, Gordy.
I'm trying.
All right, I'm going to let you go right here again. Thank you, Gordy Gurson. Shout out Utica City FC, by the way. Shout out to the MASL, and good luck. And hopefully our paths cross this upcoming season, because I'd really be looking forward to calling one of your games. I think it's been far too long.
Yeah, I think I'm due for a Cali trip this year.
Absolutely. Well, we'll welcome you with open arms. All right, man. Good luck to you. Get some rest, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Philly. Take care, man.
Thank you.
Ooh. Well, we are approaching 2:00 in the morning TST time, so let's get this rolling. Our next game to recap, those Reggae Rovers, as mentioned in the interview, took out Natty SC. Roshan and the Rovers rolling on through Chad Ochocinco and his team Natty SC 5-1. They improved to 3-0 and leave their group in first place.
I'll tell you who's in first place, unscored upon and undefeated, is Mother Nature. Nobody messes with Mother Nature. When she decides to put a timeout on the TST, she's going to win. We get weather-delayed games towards the end of the evening, about 2 hours and change. Didn't know that the H in Group H stood for a hurricane. Credit to the guy who wrote that joke, by the way, one doctor who was below me. Let's talk about Pasha Luxury FC at Quick Goal. Pasha took a quick 2-goal lead prior to Mother Nature subbing into the ball game. Quick got one back before overtime and completed the comeback in target time to win Group H. And Panda, Doctor and I roll into the round of 32 undefeated with our choices. What happened to your choice?
Well, I had two choices if you, lest you forget. I mean, Concafa did advance, so I have that one. But yeah, I'm pulling a 1-1 here because despite the fantastic efforts by Tranquilo FC and pulling out an amazing win against Sneaky Fox, unfortunately, they would not advance. But you know what? The way this game played out, there was a 1-1 score that took us into that weather delay, and it did nothing to ease the tensions for either side. Nick Pereira and Juan Mendoza, they netted the first goals for either side, and then Tranquilo, they take a 3-1 second half lead thanks to goals by Ramon Palmer and Acosta. And then unfortunately, there was like a freak little incident, some miscommunication, a ball that made its way backwards that fortunately, Willie B had to struggle to get to, and in that struggle to try to save it, he did exit with an injury, and there was a goal by Nani Mendoza, and this made it 3-2. And then Sneaky Fox, they get a goal at the death to make it tied 3-3 going into overtime. But hey, we still got Mike Ramos on Tranquilo FC, and despite Toth coming out and kind of giving us all a little scare, thinking we're going to do what Chris Toth does, which is come out past that half court, half pitch, I don't even know what you say, that midline, and shoot a goal for the game winner. He came out a little far. Mike Ramos saw it. He probably knows him pretty well and what he was going to do. He was able to chip it over, and he did get the game winner. So thankfully, Tranquilo FC is not exiting this tournament without a win. So they did end up going 1-2 in this tournament. Not enough to advance them into the next stage, unfortunately. That would be the end, though, of all group stages. And we now have a fully formed bracket. We waited a long time for this, guys.
A fully formed bracket indeed, although it did take a little while for it to completely update on the website. Let's first, all the teams that I'm going to mention really quickly, the first few, they won their groups. So let's go down this list. And by the way, very impressingly, there was just less than half the teams in the TST had MASL talent on there. Pretty much every team, with the exception of 1 and 2, made the round of 32. So that just goes to show you how talented the indoor players are. And just like Gordy said, it's just a completely different game. I love the fact that the indoor guys ran circles around the likes of your Agueros and your people of that nature. But going in, Newtown Pride, La Bombonera, Nani FC, Reggae Rovers, Dueling for Lincoln, Quick Goal FC, and the Manhattan Kickers FC won their groups. Moving on, the clubs that moved on, Concafa FC, SC, Villarreal, Super United, The Town FC, #United, Sire 7, Supra, Pasha Luxury, 1015 FC. Shout out Garrett Bloom. Did a great interview with him on Soccer and 60. By the way, check that out on the Empire Strikers site. Sneaky Fox, Saturday's Football, Sire 7's in there again. This list needs to be corrected. And North Carolina FC. How'd Sire 7 get in there twice? I know Torres is a baller, but not balling enough to where he can clone his team and get on this list. Doctor, you're making me look bad.
You know what time it is, guys?
The weather delay, all right? This whole thing got pushed back. It's like 3 in the morning. Give me a break.
I really am the Ron Burgundy of the three. I will read anything you put on the teleprompter. I am
Oh.
Philly.
You know what I like, guys?
Panda,
I
who
like
got
that
knocked out?
Yeah, I like that I got the eliminated list because as far as MASL teams go, the eliminated list was far, far less in comparison to who advanced because, like you said, they have dominated this game. And the only teams with MASL talent on them that were eliminated were Desimpedidos. I'm really sad I don't get to say that name anymore in this tournament. Zala. That is not it, Philly. Desimpedidos, Zala, Summer of Soccer, and unfortunately, Tranquilo FC. Those are the 4 teams that have MASL talent on them. Unfortunately, that will not be moving forward into the round of 32.
Speaking of MASL talent, let's look at our leaderboards for the MASL. In goals, Luis Morales leads all MASL players with 3. He's trailing Giovinco with 6 for the total TST. In assists, also Luis Morales with 2. He's trailing the leader with 5. In points, no surprise, Mendoza's at the top with 8, trailing Giovinco, who has 12s. In saves, it is Willie B, who leads all MASL players through the group stage in saves. Sadly, with his team eliminated, he will not get to continue that run throughout the tournament. And finally, in save percentage, Christian Hernandez at 94.4% is not only the best MASL player in the tournament, he is the best goalkeeper in all of TST right now in save percentage. He has allowed just 1 goal throughout the course of the tournament, which is pretty impressive stuff. All right, guys, I know we're running a little long on time, and the bracket has just come out for tomorrow. So let's take a look. First game on the left side of the bracket, we got Nani FC versus Sneaky Fox. That's got MASL written all over it. Any picks in that game, guys?
I got to go with Nani FC. They have just been dominating. They are undefeated. Their goal diff is 10, and they've only allowed 4 goals. So I'm going Nani FC.
Sneaky Fox putting Nani to sleep, baby. That's my choice. Upset City, or is it really an upset? Long live the Fox.
Next up, the Town FC will be wrestling with the boys from Gracie. Gracie have scored a ton of goals. That kid, Aziz De Assad, is lighting the back of the net up. That is going to be a tough game for them. We got some inter-MASL drama as the Manhattan Kickers take on Sire 7. That should be a fun one. Quick Goal and their electric scoring prowess is going to be taken on North Carolina FC. That's another game that's got a lot of MASL talent over it. Reggae Rovers, they have been flying. They are up against Tobacco Road. Tobacco Road's an interesting team. They've scored almost as many goals as the leaders in the tournament, but they've given up that many as well. So those are certainly exciting, very offense-oriented games. Next up on the MASL front is going to be a fun one. Newtown Pride are going to be looking to get the ball past Edgy and Philip Ejimadu. That's a fun one. And then finishing up the left side of the bracket, Como Caligari taking on Oya Nation. On the other side, we've got an MASL lineup dueling for Lincoln versus Saturday's football. Philly, I have a feeling you're going for Saturday's football on that one.
I've spent so much money at that store. It would be blasphemous not to choose Saturday's football. Plus, they got some Empire Strikers talent on there. Brandon Gomez.
I really like this dueling for Lincoln side. I have to be honest. I'm kind of pulling for them, especially knowing that their money is going to charity and that the team is playing in honor of a young boy named Lincoln who passed away from said cancer. There's a lot of positive vibes behind their team, and I'm kind of low-key pulling for them, not to lie. Next up on the MASL front, Pasha Luxury has a chance against La Mexicana Express. We're all rooting for Pasha there. Then my boys, La Bombonera, they're going to put the spank down on Say Word. I'm calling it right now. Next up on the MASL side, Panda, Concafa, they got to go up against Super United. Do you think Concafa can take them down?
I think they said it best. They've got the momentum swinging in their direction. I think they've kind of figured out how to play together. And that was one of the things that we were, kind of curious about in the beginning. And they're both coming into this 2-1. Concafa has 11 goals. They only have 4 Super United. So as far as scoring, I don't think that Concafa has a problem doing that. So I'm excited. I think Concafa is going to come out with a win.
Rounding out the MASL teams on the right side of the bracket, Villarreal CF will go up against what is low-key Philly's pick to win the tournament and the team that all of his heart that he's not willing to admit, and that is who?
Who? Who?
I am an alumnus of Indiana University. I bleed cream and crimson. Who's your daddy, baby? Who's your army? Yeah, look, I got the IU logo from Assembly Hall where the basketball team plays tattooed on my wrist. Who do you think I'm supporting? Come on.
I think it's pretty clear that Philly's rooting all MASL and has cut all ties with the Hoosiers. That's how I'm going to spin it. Folks,
Villarreal is very sad. I would say all of Texas does not like you right now.
The stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the
heart of Texas.
Now I want them all back. I want to mention one quick thing. 10-15 FC against Fit Bodega Vancouver. I bring that up because of Garrett Bloom. Garrett Bloom, not only is he a member of the Empire Strikers, he was outstanding, by the way, playing for Jackson Boom last year in the TST. Garrett Bloom's hometown in Brazil experienced some of the worst flooding in the history of Brazil. He's already pledged that if they win the tournament, he'd like to donate his portion to help some of those families affected by that. In addition, he also has a GoFundMe to help raise money for the villagers of his town in Brazil that have lost everything. So I'm looking at 10-15 FC to move along. Shout out Garrett Bloom.
Shout out Garrett Bloom. Well, folks, that wraps us up for episode 3, day 2. But before, Panda.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention before we wrap this up is not only will we be entering the 32-round knockout stage from the men's side, tomorrow kicks off the women's group stages, and you guys need to tune in for this because it's the first year for an all-women's tournament. You're going to see Angel City Sevens, Streetball FC Canada, shout out Lauren Susselman, the U.S. Women, and the Wrexham Red Dragons all in one group. You're going to see Burnley FC Women, North Carolina Courage, Soccerhead FC, Tampa Bay Sun FC in the next group. They will be playing 2 games tomorrow each in that group stage. They start out at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, 9:30 TST time. And I just want to end all of this with a quote from Heather O'Reilly, who was in the tournament last year, who came into this and she said, freaking props to TST, right? She goes, we talk about FIFA, equal prize money, and they're like, we're trying to get there, whatever. And then TST by the second year is like, no, we're doing it. Equal prize money. We're going to do things the right way. And I love it, she said. So shout out to TST for doing the right thing. Tune in tomorrow to see these bad women take on each other. And it's going to be a fun Friday for everyone.
Yeah, 1 in 8 chance of having $1 million team. It's not going to be that way next season with that kind of prize money. Shout out to the women. I've always said this. If you really are a fan of a beautiful sport, whether it be professional wrestling or soccer, women fundamentally are so good. They play the game the way it should be. Looking forward to that.
Brilliant. Well, I know we ran a little long today, but with teams being eliminated, should be easier to get through this a little quicker in the future. Yeah. But on behalf of myself, Doc, and my beautiful compatriots, Philly and Panda, thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.